What up, world? It's your woman butterfly. Woo, today is the beautiful day. Beautiful fall weather. And I'm here at my favorite park in this city. My bird friends over there, they're kind of hiding today because it's crowded out here. I don't know what they're doing over there. I think they're having some kind of volleyball competition or something. I don't know. But I just wanted to talk to y'all today. Because I go back and watch my videos and I be like, dang, I need to live up to what the heck I be telling y'all I'm going to do. Because nobody likes for someone to say they're going to do something, but don't do it. So I'm going to do it. Right? Y'all, Savannah is nice. I like Savannah, but I'm telling y'all, if I don't get this apartment, if I don't get approved for it, I'm going to Charlotte. Cause if I am gonna be struggling and going crazy, at least let me be somewhere where I'm happy. And plus, there's more jobs out there. I mean, there's lots of jobs here too, but there's jobs for most of the jobs are like industrial, and there's a lot of plants and guy stuff. Men stuff, construction and all that stuff that guys do. I mean, there's jobs out here for women too, but there's more in Charlotte, and I just love it there. There's more ways to travel. I was just so freaking happy there. But so that's what I'm gonna do if I don't get this apartment, and God says it's okay. And you know what? Just a few weeks ago, y'all. Sometimes you think God tell you something and it's not God. It's you. Or it's like the devil or demon. Because just a few days ago, I was listening for a word. And I thought that God told me to go to Augusta. And I almost freaking died. Because I hate it there. And I seriously hate it there. It's just so horrible there. It smells bad. There's hardly any jobs, barely any resources. It's just really bad. It's a scam town. It's horrible. It's so ghetto there. Not to mention, I have all these enemies there that I don't even know how we became enemies. And I just don't feel like it's a safe place for me to be, because a lot of people there are ghetto, ignorant. They don't care about nothing. They just want to fight and go to jail, and a lot of shootings and just stuff that I did when I was in middle school. I was like, God, I started crying, because I was like, God, why you want me to go there? I don't want to go there, right? So I prayed for discernment, and when I prayed for discernment, that's when I found that apartment. And I believe that was God telling me that your fear is making you feel like you have to go to Augusta. You're worried about your child, but I'm keeping your child safe while I'm working with you and turning you into the woman I want you to be. You don't have to go to Augusta. That's the reason why your heart rejected that so much. So I thank God for his discernment, and I need to watch out for when you're afraid, or when you're feeling some type of way and all of a sudden you hear a word and you think that is God. You got to pray for discernment. So hopefully I will get that apartment, because I do like Savannah, but I really want to go to Charlotte. So if I don't get that apartment, then I will look at that as God telling me to go to Charlotte. And I'm going to go, because I love it there. But anyway, I got something else I want to talk to y'all about, because I said I was going to talk to y'all about this. Look at my bird friends, y'all. They're over there in the water chilling. And also check out this track. I love this track because if you like to run, it's designed for that. It's kind of bouncy, so it won't be so hard on your ankles while you're running. And then this side is for walking. Sorry, y'all, I have ADHD. Even when you talk to me, it's like, I hear you. Wait, look over there. But anyway, I want to tell y'all about demonic encounters, okay? Because it's real, all right? It's realer than real. And I'm going to tell y'all about some more demonic encounters that I have, because I had a lot of them in the club environment, okay? Because that's where demons hang out the most in this world, in strip clubs and nightclubs. And y'all know where the word club came from? Club came from, back in the caveman days, when the caveman would see a woman, and instead of asking her to go with him or whatever, he'd just get a club and club her upside her head and then drag her by her hair home. Okay, that's what that's what the club is. I'm telling y'all, that's what the club is. So when you go to the club, you can be getting bunked upside your head by a demon. And I don't understand why people do that. That's disgusting. What's fun about that? That's dangerous and disgusting to go to the club just to meet somebody and be like, I'm going home with somebody tonight. Like you forget that's dangerous. It's disgusting. And it's like, how can you forget that? The music and the alcohol makes you forget that. You just be like, he fine, I'm going with him, girl. You don't even know him. He could be a cannibal. It's like so retarded. Like, it's dangerous. You're putting yourself in danger. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all. All right, I was working in the club, all right, in Columbia, South Carolina. Okay, there was this girl that came in there, and she was crazy. Okay, she talked to herself, right? But it drew me to her because I wondered why she was like that. Okay, and the first thing that I heard her say was, I hate people. She was like, I hate people. She was a tall girl, braces, all this butter on her braces. Kind of, you know how some tall girls are, tall and skinny, right? Okay, so everybody was like, what's wrong with her? She's crazy. She's stupid, right? I don't like that girl. And I'm like, y'all leave her alone. She not like that for no reason. And she in here trying to get money just like us, right? So I started to kind of talk to her. And she was like, yeah, girl. She was the only person that listened to me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the devil does sometimes. He makes it seem like he's on your side, but he's not, okay? She listened to me tell my stories about how, when I was in the club, the reason why I went there was because I was in a relationship and I was living with a guy, and he was working and I wasn't. And when he left, he just left. Everything was I was trying so hard to make ends meet after he left, but I ended up having to go live in a hotel with my daughter, and then my oldest daughter got taken away from me, and just all this craziness, and how all the girls thought that it was funny, and how people that was smoking crack was talking about me, and it was like everybody just them demons will make you feel like you're a nobody, and how in my mind I really, really thought that I was trying, but really the only thing that was happening was the devil was trying to kill me. I really thought that the club environment was going to help me, but it didn't help me but do nothing but almost die, right? So anyway, she was like, oh yeah, girl, they don't know, girl. I mean, just imagine being 19, 20 years old, having to deal with DSS and court and all that. Like, that's got to be overwhelming. Like, she was just, like, reading me. And I was like, yeah, girl. So, I got kind of close to her, right? Because I'm the type that's drawn to outcasts. And God knows that because I'm an outcast myself. God knows that and the devil knows that. right? So she was telling me that she had this crazy story, which was actually true, but it was a trap, okay? Because the devil knows that I'm the type person that will help somebody, right? Because I know how it feels to be helped. Like, sometimes you might really need just a little bit of help, and sometimes you might need a lot of help. And if it's not too much, then I'll help somebody, right? So anyway, she was like, I came from Atlanta, and I used to live down here in Columbia, and I came from Atlanta, and I lost my key to my car. So she was like, and it's $400 for me to get it back. And I was like, so you haven't made it? She was like, no, I'm stranded down here. I'm stranded because in the club we was working in, you can make $400. See, that's another thing with those clubs. There's good clubs and there's bad clubs. And I've been in a lot of bad clubs, and I've been in some good clubs. But most of the time in the good clubs where you can make a lot of money, the managers, they see a woman trying to whatever her life or whatever, and they make sure they find some reason to fire her. Okay? Like, you get fired so easy in the clubs where there's a lot of money to be made, especially if all the managers are men, and you reject one of them or something like that, you'll be fired like the next day. Okay? So there's a lot of that going on in those clubs, and plus it's a demon infested environment. So Satan is not going to let you have nothing. He's not going to let you have nothing. He don't care about you. He wants you to die. So anyway, I was like, oh, so what kind of car you have? And she was like, I have a Nissan Juke. And because of this story, every time I see a Nissan Juke, I don't like it. I think the Nissan Juke is ugly. I think it looks like a big, giant cockroach. And I'm actually trying to get another car. And I saw the Nissan Juke, and they asked me, would I like that one? I was like, no! I hate the Nissan Juke. But she was like, I got a red Nissan Juke, right? And at the time, I was renting a room in Columbia, and I told her she can come stay in my room because she was like, I got to pay for a hotel room every night, and that's the reason why I can't save up the $400. And I was like, oh, okay, I know what it's like to be in that trap where you have to stay in a hotel room every night. So you have to pay your $60, $70 every night, and say you go to the club, you make $150, you got to pay $70, you got to come back, pay your tip out to work. Your shoes broke, so now you need a new pair of shoes. Those shoes cost $100. Your nails are not done, so you need those done. Your wig is getting nappy, so you need another wig. It's like you're not gonna, if you staying in a hotel while you dancing, you're not gonna be able to save up if you're working in certain clubs. Okay, so I was like, you can come stay in my room. So I let her come stay in my room. She didn't even pay her half that night. She was like, I just don't have, I'm just not making it. But that's when I realized that she had some kind of drug problem. Most people that have drug problems are infested with demons or Satan himself, right? So, because she was like, I don't have my room, I don't have to stay in your room, but I'll be right back. So, she was like on the phone with whoever, calling people, disappearing, and to come back. So she stayed in my room for 2 days, and while she was in my room for 2 days, she gave me $28, okay, for 2 days, which is not half of and I just already felt like there was, it was gonna go bad, right? So I was like, she was like, girl, we gotta work together, we gotta be a team, right? So I was like, yeah, we need to work together, but it gotta be 50-50. And she was like, oh yeah, you know what, girl, as soon as I get my car, we're gonna travel, right? So I was like, you know what, maybe I should help her get her car so that we can travel, because I'm getting tired of this town anyway. So I gave her $325 towards the key for her car. Okay, once she got her car, it was like I thought she was lying. Everybody in the club thought she was lying about her car. But, the devil is a liar, but she wasn't lying about the car. Okay? We went to the Nissan dealership and got her another key made. And she had a red Nissan Juke. And it was almost new. And she was like, oh, that's another thing. There was some dude in Atlanta that she was like, I gotta get to Atlanta and see him. He kept calling her and was like, why you out there? Why are you out there? Are you making money? Like, what are you doing? Like, and she really wasn't making any money, but she didn't want to tell him that because this was her boyfriend, and she just had this lie about it. Okay, she was like, I can't tell him that I'm not making any money because I've been out here for 2 weeks and he's ready for me to come home. He's telling me that I need to come home, and I lost my key. And it was like, okay, I'm gonna help you get your key, okay, but you said we're gonna travel, right? And I was like, why not, first, before I gave her the money for that key, I was like, why don't you tell him the truth? Why don't you tell him, you thought, because she was like talking about he's a baller and he has all this money and he owns this kind of company and all this stuff. So I was like, why don't you tell him the truth? Why don't you tell him that you thought you was going to make all this money and you're not making it, and tell him you lost your key so that he can help you get your key. If he really wants you to come home that bad, he should say, well, babe, how much is it for you to get your key? I'll get it for you so you can come home and get a real job or whatever, right? But she was like, no, I don't want to do that because I already lied to him and told him that I was, I had my key and that I was making money. So he wants me to come home now. So I'm telling y'all, the devil took me for a ride. He took me for a serious ride, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to give you the money for your key. So once I helped her get the key, it was like I became an inconvenience to her. Okay, but she still took me for that ride and let me know who she was, right? Because I was saving up that money to try to get my own car, right? So I give her the $325. Right? And we get her key. And she's like, okay, where should we go? I was like, we need to go to Greenville and go work in the white clubs. Because in the white clubs, you make way more money and do less work. But in the black clubs, you got to bend over, bust it wide open, and then kill yourself and slam yourself all over that dirty floor for a couple of ones. Right? And she was like, okay. So we're going to go to Greenville. So the next day, I felt like I needed to get my nails done. I felt like, when you're going to get hired at these clubs, some of them don't even will turn you away just because you don't have your nails done, right? So we did that, and we actually ended up making it to Greenville kind of late, right? And you know what? When we got on the road, the first thing she did was crack open a big can of beer and wanted to drive while drinking, right? And I was like, girl, like, you know what I'm saying? What I want to travel with you and everything, but you about to drink and drive? And she was like, girl, I'm 34 years old. I can do this. I've been doing this for a long time. And that's another sign of a demon, y'all. Another sign of a demon is someone who drives recklessly or someone that cannot drive. Man, this girl was driving like crazy, and it was rain. It started to rain, and I felt like I was like this close to death. Okay, and that's not the only time that the devil has had me in a car with someone, and that person was driving crazy. Okay, she was like speeding, just freaking. That girl, y'all, look at this big old spider. Hold up, yo. Y'all see that spider? I guess it didn't want to be on camera, so it started to crawl away. I hate spiders, Lord. Why'd you make spiders? Okay. Anyway, back to this girl and her crazy driving. Okay, like just zipping in between Mack trucks, and I was like, I'm going to die, right? So, she started to say stuff, right? And she was like, okay, we're going to a new club. She was like, you don't feel like seeing any niggas tonight, do you? And I was like, no, it's not that. I just want to work in a better club where I know I'll make more money. She was like, you think you're going to make more money? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, we'll see, right? And I was like, why is she talking like that? Like, just a couple of days ago, she was sitting up here crying about her key, and now all of a sudden she acting like she all that because she got her car back, and I'm the one to help her get her car back. She's being freaking rude to me, right? But I was like, whatever. I'm not going to say nothing because I'm in her car with all my stuff, and we're going to Greenville. All right? Once I make some money, I'm not going to have nobody talking to me like this no more, right? So we went to this club in Greenville, and we got hired at this white club, right? And the guy told us to come back either later that night or the next day, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we got hired there. I know somebody used to work there. She used to make a lot of money there, right? And she was like, okay, but I gotta go see my man, right? I'm gonna go to Atlanta, and then we'll come back tomorrow. And I was like, why don't you tell him that, I mean, you want to go see the same dude that wouldn't even help you get your key. So I'm telling y'all, the situation is going on like this in your life, okay? It's the devil. It's nothing but the devil. It's the devil, okay? If something's going on where it inconveniences you, or it's making you feel, it's just making things harder, you know what I'm saying? Or it seems like there's a promise that things are going to get better, but it just gets worse. It is the devil. And I literally mean that. Okay? I literally mean that. Okay? So she was like, why don't we go work at another club, a black club tonight, and then we go to Atlanta tonight, and then we'll come back in the morning. And I was like, I really don't want to leave Greenville. Right? She was like, I'll bring you back, right? So I was like, okay, you know, do you know what club we can go to? And she was like, cause at the white club, you had to wear certain kind of outfits. You had to be covered up more, like a bikini bottom. And most of my outfits were not like that. So I was like, you know, we barely have any money, and I need to make some. Okay, so let's just go to the black club. And we went to the black club, and it was like the same old crowd that I didn't want to see. And not to mention, it was getting later, and we had to cover up there as well. So even though I paid my tip out, I was like, and she didn't even come in the club. She ran off with some dude that she met outside the club. And she was talking about how women are prostitutes and all this stuff like that. But she had just met that dude, and she ran off somewhere with him in the parking lot. She didn't come inside. And she was like, can you pay my tip out? I'll be right back. I'm finna run off and see what this dude is talking about. And I'm like, why are you running off with dudes? Why don't you come in the club and just dance? Right? Like, well, you just met this dude, this crazy looking dude. It was just so crazy. Okay, so I went in the club, I paid my tip out, and I paid her tip out, right? And for a minute, it seemed like she wasn't going to come back. She was gone for like 20 minutes. And I was like, where is she? You know what I'm saying? I'm in there doing my makeup and stuff, and then listening to the house mom tell me the rules of the club. And I was like, dang, I was just feeling like it wasn't gonna happen, because when I walked into the club, there was guys doing construction, and I was like, it's time for the club to open, and these guys are in here with the lights on doing construction. So it's cutting into the money making time. And I was like, this is not gonna work. I don't want to work tonight. I don't want to work. I just want my tip out back, and I just want to go, right? I want to go to the white club, right? So she came back, and she was like, she was such a liar, y'all. She was a lying thing, man. She was like, that dude wanted me to suck his dick for $60. And I was like, why was you gone so long? And she was like, cause that dude wanted me to suck his dick for $60. And we was talking about it, and I told him to get the hell out of my car, right? I don't know what happened between her and that dude. I really didn't care. I was just like, girl, we need to get out of here. I was like, we need to get out of here, right? And I asked the house mom if I could have my tip out bag. She was like, what's wrong? You don't want to work here at this club? And I was like, no, I don't, because the lights are on, people are doing construction, and I just want to go. Like, I want to go to somewhere where I'm going to make money, especially my $325 that I was saving for my car back. I mean, I could have just stayed in because I'm being kept saving that instead of coming out here, right? And she was like, oh, okay, so let's go. And I was like, yeah, but before I go, I want my tip out back, because I haven't even started working, and I just want to go, right? And she was like, so the house mom heard me saying, I want my tip out back. And she was like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if you're going to get your tip out back, right? And then the girl that I was with, she was like, I'm just gonna call her, because I don't want to keep saying the girl. I'm going to call her the devil's daughter, all right? Because that's who she was. The devil's daughter was like, oh, I'm going to get your tip out back, because I'm going to get it back, because you paid for me too, right? And then she went into the office, and her and the house mom came back out, and she gave me my $80 back, because it was $40 for me, $40 for her, and she gave me my $80 back, right? She was like, I'm sorry that you didn't like this club, but all the clubs in Greenville are starting to crack down. Like even before we went to that club, we had went to another club, and it was like getting later, and we didn't even go inside because the police was out there. They was doing some kind of I don't know, some kind of, what do you call it? What's that word? Raid or something, right? And I was like, we need to get in there and make money. It's 10 o'clock. Like, what are they doing? And then the security guard outside was like, don't worry about what they doing. Just wait till they leave. Wait till they leave. Just wait till they leave. Wait till they leave. And I was like, it's another 20 minutes going by. He's like, just wait till they leave. Wait till they leave. And it's the devil, because he wants to steal your time, okay? He wants it to go bad for you, okay? That club where the police were, I see that club all the time on Instagram, and there's always money flying all over the place, okay? But the night that I go on there, there's a police raiding, and there's a security guard telling me, just wait till they leave, wait till they leave, wait till they leave, just wait till they leave, right? Like, the devil's like, I'm not gonna give you nothing. And even on the way to Greenville, she was like, that's another thing she said. She was like, so which club you want to go to? And I was like, let's go to this one. And I was talking about clubs that I seen on Instagram. And she was like, oh, so you have faith in that? And I was like, faith, what are you talking about? She was like, you got faith in what you're seeing on Instagram. And I was like, yeah, we're going to a club. And she was like, so you have more faith than Instagram, right? And I was like, yes, we're going to, what do you mean? Like, look at all this money flying around. Oh, she was like, okay, your faith is in Instagram, right? And I was like, yeah, but really that was the devil saying you have more faith in these pictures that you, and videos that you see on Instagram than you do in God, right? So that's what that was. Now, back to the story, okay? Matter of fact, I should make this a part 1 and a part 2, because I don't want to keep y'all on here too long. I know people don't watch your videos if they're too long, and they don't even upload if they're too long. So I'm gonna make a part 2, okay? And the part 2 is when me and the devil's daughter went to Atlanta after we left that club, and after we got our tip out back and left that club in Greenville. Now, y'all might be thinking, oh, this is a story of 2 stupid girls, but it's not, okay? Oh, it gets better. It gets better, and the devil speaks, because it was him the whole time, okay? I'm going to tell y'all how in part 2, okay?